Welcome to RVer Frank's Yerf Dog House. Okay, so what I plan on doing is to give me my dimension. Got a little test bed here on my doors so you get an idea how this is going to work. So this is emulating this interface here to the first door. This is a door and this is a door. These will actually be framed in 2x4s with the siding applied times 2. That's one half of the door system. And the way that will go down the bed, or rock bed there, this will be raised up so it doesn't interfere with the cement walk here. So that will be mounted just about opening up over this door, or this cement. Okay. It'll be mounted. That hinge point will be on this hinge will be here, to be clear. This emulates one complete door. This emulates the second door, making one side of the 12-foot door opening. That'll be 6 feet. And the way that'll work is the door will open and bifold. It's difficult to do with one hand. Wish I had a film crew. Anyway, so that's the door system. Very simple. In its finished version, it'll be like that. Again, those doors will be mounted to the metal frame, and these will extend out 3 feet. Very simple. Okay. When they are closed, in a closed state, you can see I have about 3 3/4 inches of space there. I don't want that. So I'll fill it up with 2x4. Of course, it'll be inset down further so that this top edge will interface to the plywood here. And that's 1.5 inches. I've got to get to 3. No, it was 3 1/4. So here's another 1.5 inches. That will be mounted like so. That's 3 inches. So I have 1/4 inch of play between the door and here. And that's what I want. I don't want those doors being propped open by tolerance buildup in this wood here. So it's hard to show, but anyway, that'll be like that. That's going to give me the strength I need as I drive up the Yerf Dog onto the floor. There'll be 2 opposing that will be mounted, 12 over, or whatever the total with hinge and door gap amounts to. I'll sink a post in here, probably a round cement post, and cement it, not interface it with some sort of a L bracket in here, something like what they have there. Of course, it'll be 105 mile/hour proof tested. LOL on that. And so I'll have a little section here of siding, and that will be more of a storage area in here. So that's the plan. Oh, one other thing, because of the I want some strength to these doors. There'll be 4 3.5-inch hinges on the inside door. There'll be 3 3-inch hinges on the secondary door. So I have a total of 7 hinges there. 4 3.5, 3 3-inch. But I'm still concerned about maybe some droop out here, some flexing. So what I'm going to do is run a wire rope from here all the way across, and maybe a turnbuckle to make sure it's tight. It can adjust it as the cable stretches. I'll put on this door here, on that 2x4 that will be in this door assembly, there will be an eye bolt that will just simply it will just ride on that wire rope across here, just to make sure that it maintains its squareness to the opposing door, which will have the same setup, and it'll just be a guide that goes across there. Simple. I want to put some sort of a channel. Trying to keep it budget conscious and simple. So that will be the next step after I get this floor edge finished. Okay, well, we got some more finished here. So let's take a look at what we've accomplished so far. Went ahead and finished off that leading edge there. So it's all level and square, the opening here. I think I'm going to run that 1/8 wire rope to this point here where the screw is, and accordingly across, and that I'll call a wing panel that I'm going to put in here. I'll just work around that cable as it passes through. I want a good secure interface there, so I'll be addressing that a little more clearly soon. So here's the inside door panel structure. It's 2x4. It's fairly heavy. I'm going to lighten up the next panel on this door set, this one here, and I'll probably incorporate some 2x3 at the top, not only in the midsection but at the top and bottom. A little bit lighter, and then this is the siding panel that will go. It's 37, well, let's see, it's about 37 inches wide, no more than 3 feet. I think when the usable dimension on this sheet metal is from the outside to the inside, because each panel then overlaps. I'm not going to overlap, of course, the doors section, so they'll be pretty much as you see the full face across there. Now the cross members to that door, at each door corner I'll be putting one of these mending plates, like so. So I'll have them at each section. That will be opposite the sheet metal. The sheet metal will give it its rigidity. The sheet metal will give it the rigidness. The sheet metal on this side will give it the rigidity needed to keep it square. This will actually go on the other side. Now that sheet metal will be laid down on that structure there, with roofing, metal roofing. It's got some neoprene washers. So what they use, only mine are going to be color coordinated for the door. So anyway, we'll and those will go, they'll screw across here. I'll have to plan out how much I need to put in, and then the screws will go up the side, just on the inside of the rib on that panel. So we'll go ahead and assemble one of these. I've got a 1/2 inch below the sill line there, the door opening, and that gives me about a 3/4 inch opening at the top, which is the dimension of this eye. These hooks. They'll go in. There you go. The eye hook, it'll go at the top of each panel set. It'll be more clear as I apply these later on in this assembly. So I have my 3-inch hinges, my 3.5 inch hinges, lots of screws, and lots of time. Okay, we'll get on to assembling that door section. I'm putting these vending plates at each of the attachment points with the upright and the cross members. And what I do is, of course, measure from one corner to this corner, get a dimension, measure from that corner, get a dimension at this end, and if it's longer or shorter, go ahead and use a hammer and just tap it so that the dimensions are the same. And before I did that, I just put one screw at each vending plate, so it would have some flexibility in that adjustment. Then I went ahead and put a few more screws in there. The more screws you put in there, the more rigid this structure will be. And I just checked it again, and it stayed true at 90 3/4. That's to give me an 82.5 inch high door. So I go ahead and put screws in all those holes. Then what I decided to do before I go putting that skin on there and then cutting it, I'll be using that tin snips. Pretty thin stuff. Be tricky working around those ribs, but I think that'd be easier than getting my grinder out, cut it off. That way, a lot of heat, probably discoloration. I won't have any flashing to go over that cut, so I got to make sure it's really clean. I'll keep the cut at the bottom of the door. And I certainly don't want to get a jigsaw tangled up in that thin sheet metal. So tin snips, be the way to go. Then what I'm going to do is hang this section without the skin on the door frame. Make some adjustments as needed to make sure that I've got the right dimensioning on that door. Although I've cut all the other sections, pretty confident I've got the right door height to interface with that door jamb down there on the outside. So we'll test that door with the 4 hinges at each point. And then I'll make the second panel for this left-hand door set. Put it up and give it a functional test without the wire rope at this point, just to make sure that the hinges are square, and you know, all the fine-tune adjustments need to be done before I put that skin on there, because once that siding goes on there, I'll take everything down, put the skin on there, and then it's going to be pretty much very structurally rigid at that point. I want to make sure that when that skin goes on, I've got all the squareness and alignment between the doors taken care of. Each one of these weigh, I think, 16 pounds, which isn't a lot. And then you have the 2x4s, 2x3s, which isn't a whole lot. But you're swinging it out there, and you know, that's why that wire rope will be running across the top, so that it will control any movement in the direction in and out as that door opens up and unfolds. I hope this video isn't too boring. It's my way of doing things. There may be another way. If there was another way, they probably would have had one offered to buy. But this is pretty much a custom job done by a professional. LOL.